So hey everybody, it's Jake from Green Genie, and as you can see behind me, I'm with the team from Shore Set. We're down here at the NEC in Birmingham today to have a quick look at their stand and how amazing it all is. We'd love to see you. If you could come down here, have a look, come meet us, come say hello to the team. It'd be fantastic to see everybody. Hope to see you. Right, so I'm just with Hugh now, and we're on the display stand, and we're going to just give you a quick rundown on what this stand in front of us is actually doing. So I'm going to pass it over to Hugh, and he's going to explain to us what this actually is.
Right, thank you, Jake. Yeah, this is just demonstrating the permeability of the resin-bound paving that we lay. So these discs that we've got within here are laid at an 18mm depth, which is very similar to what we would lay onto a concrete or a tarmac base. Now you can see here, it's quite a heavy rainfall being simulated. It shows the water draining through, sinking through to the base. As you can see, it's going through these 3 panels and getting circulated around. So it gives you a little idea of how permeable the surface would be if you laid that onto a permeable tarmac or a compacted aggregate base.
Yeah, so I think that's the main thing. I think the biggest question we've seen today a lot of is actually what is permeability and how does it work? And we're seeing it in this scenario here perfectly.
Yeah.
Just coming through, and I think that's one of the biggest panics on a driveway or a plat.
Yeah.
People having that holding water, that sitting water, or sending it off onto the road, and they're not quite sure what this is capable of.
Yeah.
And this is showing them that it's just going away.
I think you touched on there, Jake. It does tick a few boxes, really. There's the planning application side of things.
Yeah.
If you've got a permeable driveway, you don't have to incorporate drainage for the runoff of the water being onto the highways, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that causes major headaches.
Yeah.
But also, for the aesthetics of it, you don't get standing water on the driveway, so you're not going to get too much of a build-up of algae or silt or sediment coming on the surface.
Yeah, so I didn't actually think about that. So if there is like a sitting area, which is normally quite mossy or overtraded with trees,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry too much, because that holding water is not going to be there.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the product itself that's the problem, it's the water that stands on that product.
Okay,
and if you get it draining through and coming off the surface, you don't get left with that, the horrible green marks or brown marks on the surface.
No, I think that's really useful. Actually, I would probably refer back to that if it was alright.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of that. So, well, hopefully that does help a few more people asking what permeable is. And then you can see on this display, we'll just pan back onto this one here. And this is a great demonstration from Hugh, showing us what it's all about. Right, so we're just on the stand again, and then in front of me here, you can see this is a DIY table. We've got a sample of the resin here, couple of foot by couple of foot. I'm going to start trialing it to show you how easy it actually is, and then Hugh's going to explain to you what it's all about.
Yeah, it's a fully permeable build-up that we have.
Yeah.
So what we do is we calculate the amount of resin to go in the mix with the stone. So it fully encompasses the resin and binds them together, but doesn't make the mix impermeable, so you don't get a film on the bottom. So the water can drain right the way through the material into the subgrade below and run off into the watercourse or into your soakaway.
Well, that's amazing. So I'd say probably another question that we get asked then, can you drive on it? Can we drive on this?
You can, Jake. Obviously, this is wet, uncured material, so you won't want to drive on that. You make a mess, but it does cure. So after 24 hours, you've got a solid, stable base, much like we're stood on here, which you can drive on. We've got specifications right away up to car parks and access roads, loading bays for HGV, LGV vehicles, that sort of stuff.
That's amazing. So it's up to full spec of like massive lorries for anyone worried about their little car. It's pretty good in it.
Yeah, you should be alright for that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So then one more of the other questions that we get asked a lot as well is about the mix of colours. Can you do it all yourself? All the different mixes, blends.
Probably looking around
plenty of samples.
Yeah, we've got almost like an infinite range of materials, really. We've got natural aggregates, we've got crushed rocks, we've got marbles. All of them, like you touched upon there, Jake, are available for the supply and installation commercial projects that we do. So like yourselves doing garden build-ups, etc. But also those homeowners, those DIY customers can get exactly the same material in a smaller format that's easier for them to use at home on site. So a bit like we're having to go here, they could install small areas at home themselves.
Sorry, really good. I just lost a few stones there, but apart from that, I wasn't doing too bad. I am learning still, I'm going to be completely honest with you. We're learning, but even for me now at this point, it doesn't take me too long to trial it and get it to a nice image point, which I think the more practice makes perfect, like it does in most things, doesn't it? Definitely. So probably my last question, we'll finish on there. How long does it take to set from initial install to actually going off and being able to use it?
Yeah,
How long
okay.
does that take us?
Well, there's sort of two parts to that. The first part is the actual working time of the material, so when you're actually floating it. Generally, you can keep working the material for 45 minutes, so you can get those two batches lifted in together.
Yeah.
But the curing time will be 24 hours, so a cure over 24 hours and you can drive on it the next day. So quite quick, really.
Yeah, it's quite quick in all honesty. Well, hopefully then that helps everyone. There's a few simple questions and answers that we've done there. Let us know in the feedback and in the comments, all right? Amazing.
Okay. How long has it taken this material to sit?
So I'm going to pass you over to Hugh because I just asked the same question and this man knows all about it.
Yeah, hiya, thank you. It takes 24 hours to cure. Okay. So the next day you can drive on it and it'll be cured, usable, perfect surface to drive on, walk on.
And what material is this here? Just
This is a 6mm sterling, so it's a granite, crushed granite.
okay.
Do you want to have a go?
Buy that separately?
We can sell that DIY kits, we can sell it to trade customers, and we come out and install it as well ourselves.
Side out.
What's the life on the product?
Well, the lifespan, we guarantee up to 30 years for our material if it's been installed by one of our installers.
And how eco-friendly is the resin?
Part of the resin is actually from a plant-derived source, so it's a sustainable source resin. As a rough rule of thumb, a DIY cost, you're probably looking at 25 to 30 pound a square metre.
It comes like this.
Yeah. Well, so Hugh will explain to you a bit better than that, but that is a mock-up for today.
I don't even need you, Hugh. I can do this myself, mate.
Yeah.
That's all right. This is what you got a card for me rather than me.
Look at that. That's better than what you got on the floor down here.
Do you want to have a go as well?
No, I'm good.
Go on, have a go.
I'm really,
It's
really
honestly, it's dead easy. And it's really super
It's all
satisfying.
entirely porous.
Yes, yeah, fully permeable.
Right.
So that demonstrator now, you see the water running through it.
Yeah.
It's got a high permeability rate, about 3.5 litres per metre squared per second.
Right. So the rain's just going to run
Flows
straight
through,
it.
yeah, no
Right.
problem at all. So you don't get problems with planning permission,
Yeah.
runoff, water going off to the highways, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's the key reason the popularity for this, why people are looking at it, because that is such a big value now.
Yeah.
The permeability, all of it, and it looks good.
Oh,
From
it
one,
looks great. It looks great, but it also.
What about sinkage over time?
This stuff is solid.
More
It's
you
ready.
drive on it. And
Yeah, it's like anything really. If you've got the preparation work done right,
Yeah.
then the rest of it's going to be okay. It's like painting. If you get the prep work done, cleaned
Yeah.
up nicely, it'll work. Like with this, if you've got the base build up nice and solid and stable, well
So it's
compacted.
all straight on top of aggregate, does it?
Yeah, you can depend. If you're using a driveway, we'd recommend having a bit more of a stabilisation, so a concrete or a tarmac,
Yeah.
or like a cellular grid structure. But if you use it for a patio, you can lay onto compacted aggregate and that'll be fine. You're saying you're thinking of having a go with it. We do DIY kits,
Right.
so you can have a go. Literally comes in a tub, the aggregate and the resin's all weighed out, ready to go. Mix it in the tub, and you can lay pretty much like this type of area.
Sorry to butt into you, it's like you do training courses as well.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do offer training courses
Yeah.
as well, which are really
So if
good.
you want to come down, our head office is in Wiltshire, so it's quite easy to get to, just near Stonehenge. Come down for a training course. Part of it's in a classroom, the other part's out in a mock-up site area. Get a go mixing it, laying it, even getting a hover trowel out. But it opens up more ideas for the design as well, because thinking about sort of accessibility and making sure that people don't trip over things. You can have a different colour on the riser than on the tread, and it'll show up and differentiate rather than having to have like a yellow strip along the front. If you had like a grey front and then a beige top, it'll show the
Really,
difference. in
really
the
good way to
changing
see
levels.
that actually. Yeah, 'cause that's one of the main things. Yeah, trip hazard, easy. Just blend it all in one colour. No, just break
Yeah.
the colours up.
Yeah. So we've got specifications right up to loading bays for HGVs driving on it. Occasional maintenance vehicles on a driveway. If you increase the depth of the material, as long as that base is up to standard to take that weight, then the surface course will be fine. So all joking aside, you can snap it that way. But how often are you going to be able to get a driveway and snap a driveway? If your base is solid and it's based up underneath it, then it's not going anywhere.
We have customers all the time.
Yeah.
When we're doing extensions and things, then
Or even like reach out to these guys that supply these huts over here, and just even a small bit around there, or someone's having a conservatory built. They might not have to have the whole area done, but just that trim around the outside of it. A bit like we were talking about earlier, you lay gravel up to a building, it allows water to run off and drain out the way. You don't have standard water, but you don't have to cut the slabs either. So weird and wonderful shapes, like you've got a hexagonal conservatory, you're not doing loads of cunts on your slabs, you can just lay the resin in that.
Yeah, there is loads of little benefits. Like, so we use on like gravel channels, things like that. There's all different ways, and just rather than gravel being chipped around everywhere, you've got a nice brilliant surface around the house. It does work really good. Right, so that's it. That's a wrap today from us. We've had tons of engagement, tons of hands-on stuff going on today. It's been an amazing day. So until next time, thank you very much.